And welcome back, folks. We're joined right now by the one and only Dick Morris, Newsmax TV political analyst, presidential strategist, and, of course, best-selling author of Power Grab. Now, I want you to make sure you have your copy of Dick Morris's book, Power Grab, and you can do that by visiting powergrab411.com. There's the book on your screen, because in it, Dick talked about and predicted that the judiciary and the White House were certainly within permanent control of the Democrats. And, Dick, welcome aboard, sir.
Thank you. I didn't predict Scalia's death because there was a firm agreement by all five of the Republicans not to die.
Well, that's a good line. I like that. But it is very sad. So talk about here the strategy and the dangers involved. You know, McConnell came out immediately, said no nominee. We're not going to even address it. Would they be wise to go through the motions, have a vote, and then vote no matter who it is, or to take this stand and say we're not even going to hear it?
They should take that stand and not raise it. I was disturbed to see today that Grassley said he might hold hearings on it. Grassley is head of the Judiciary Committee. What's going to happen is this. Obama will nominate a centrist, probably that Indian judge.
Right, who was approved unanimously in the previously, yeah.
By the Senate when he was appointed to the Circuit Court.
Right.
And the moderates will all hail that appointment because he really will be a moderate. Nobody will be able to know how he's going to vote. But the Republican right-wingers are going to say, hey, we're losing Scalia, the standard bearer of our cause. We want another strong conservative, and we're not going to confirm anybody until the presidential election is over. And Obama's going to say, hey, guys, you're being irresponsible. Without 9 judges, the court can't really function. Can't have without a court for 8 months. And the Republicans are going to say, yes, we can, and we're going to hang in on this until until the election is held, and then whoever wins will get to appoint a real judge who mirrors their ideology. And that's what's likely to happen with a split in the Republican Party. The only thing that could avert that is if the Republican nominee, who probably will be chosen in effect in a month or two, asks the Senate Republicans not to move on a confirmation, and then I think they'll all follow his lead.
Well, hopefully they all seemed united in that front on the stage, except for Kasich and Jeb Bush. Speaking of the nominees, or the candidates for the nomination, you wrote a great piece, March Mayhem, and you talk about, you know, how this race, all the delegates that are at stake, and it's coming up fast.
Yeah, this is going to be something that will really throw millions of people, including a lot that are listening tonight, for a loop, or today for a loop. When you go to the polls and vote on Super Tuesday, March 1st, if you live in the third of the country that's going to be voting, mainly southern states, Texas and Massachusetts, Minnesota, and a few others, if you're in one of those states and you vote for a candidate who does not get either 15 or 20% of the vote, depending on the state, your vote doesn't count. So, for example, in Texas, if Cruz got 30% and Trump got 30%, and then Kasich, Rubio, Bush, and Carson each got like 10%, those 4 candidates' votes would not count. Half the delegates would go to Cruz and half would go to Trump, 50-50, even though they only won 25% of the vote each, or 30% each.
Right.
And that means that voters are just not going to know that. And I'm not sure that those ground rules will be widely enough understood in 2 weeks' time, because they're not understood now, for voters to take that into account in making their decision.
So this benefits Trump and whoever else might finish close to him, correct?
Well, it benefits Trump because the field can't winnow down on its own.
Right.
In other words, if there was clearly an indication that this would be a two-way race, Trump might well lose. Trump can easily win a plurality, but he cannot win, it looks like, a majority. So if the other 5 candidates consolidate on one, he'll probably defeat Trump.
Yeah.
But with all of them staying in and their voters not knowing if they're going to pass the threshold, so they vote for him anyway, this could really permit Trump's nomination.
I want you to watch and listen to what Hillary said and did yesterday. Let's roll that.
I'm trying to figure out how we can do that with the Republicans. You know, we need to get that dog and follow them around, and every time they say these things, like, oh, you know, the Great Recession was caused by too much regulation, you know?
What do you think of the barking?
Oh, my God. You know, her voice is irritating enough when she speaks English. When she tries to bark, it really ruptures my eardrums there.
You know, Howard Dean got kicked out.
That was an ad that I did.
Yeah.
I did that ad where we had a guard dog barking, and I did it for the Clintons back in the early 1980s, so that's what she's thinking about.
Was that a mistake for her to bark like that?
Look, no, it's fine. But it certainly is hard on the eardrums, I'll tell you.
Dick, thank you very much.
The problem Hillary faces now.
Yeah, Dick. Okay, we got to save that for next. But I want everybody to get Power Grab and go to powergrab411.com. Dick Morris, so much of what he predicted in that book is coming true or could come true if we're not careful. Thank you, Dick. Up next, we're going to have Alan Keyes, three-time Republican presidential candidate. Don't go away.